Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about Battle Spirits Saga. This is the last video in this series on the card reveals for Set 1, Dawn of History, and this has been a wild ride. So now you have everything you need to go out and start testing for the launch events, which are going to be happening at the end of March. Still no information on the registration for those, by the way, and certainly it's time to get sweaty. We have all the tools at our disposal as of this video to go out and test everything. But before you do that, let's go ahead and go through all the remaining cards, as well as all of the alternate artwork high rarity versions. Decided to throw these in at the end here because I figured you might want to see them. This is not the end of all card reveals because we are going to be seeing promo cards getting revealed over the next week or so, it looks like, but these are things that are not going to be relevant for the launch events, though they certainly will be relevant for the major tournament season, so I will of course cover them, but expect to wait a little bit before I actually do those. It is the One Piece Treasure Cup. As of the time of you seeing this, I'm going to be off on my way over to Birmingham, so I'm not going to be able to make any breaking news updates. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Enough waffling. We got a 3-drop here with 1 reduction, which is at level 2. It has armor, purple and yellow. So obviously best case here, this is a 4/4 with armor against purple and yellow. This seems okay. The android trait is not particularly relevant, so it's fine. Then we've got King Harold, 5 with 2, with 2 reductions. During your opponent's attack step, refresh the spirit of one of your spirits with armor blocks. I get what they're going for. Personally, I would rather use the spell that just lets me block to the rest of the thing and gives it 3000 BP, because that's frankly a lot better than this. I don't think this is particularly good. Armored Beast Gullin Burst, so obviously this is for the Giant Beast deck, where you are potentially getting a 3/6 if you've developed a pretty hefty board, and of course a 5/9, so very strong potential here for the vanilla deck, but obviously 4 reductions as a 6 cost is quite hefty. And then the Nexus here, Rocket City, 3 with 1 reduction. During your opponent's attack step, when one of your spirits blocks it, gains 1000 BP during this turn. So obviously if you have ways to let your spirits block multiple times, that is potentially very, very relevant. And even regardless, just giving 1000 BP can throw off your opponent's maths and be quite annoying. And then level 2, when when your opponent draws outside of their draw step, they must discard a card. This is potentially very, very strong. Obviously red has their draw cards, but yellow and purple both have nexuses that draw them cards when either their spirits die, or their things become exhausted or something, right? So they have lots of ways of drawing outside of the draw step, and something like this is going to be a very hard counter to those cards. I expect this might see play in the side, because it doesn't strike me as anything particularly busted, unless of course this is something you're able to resolve almost every single turn. Then we've got Valkyrie Mist. This is a 4 with 3 reductions android. When summoned, select one of your opponent's spirits that cost 7 or fewer and return it to the hand. Good lord. Obviously playing this as a 2/1 that bounces something is nuts. In white, even outside of white, for 5, being able to just remove a 7 or lower is kind of good, because that is almost everything. Like outside of the really, really big boss monsters in the game, that is functionally everything, and this does remove some of the boss monsters. For example, the white starter deck boss unit, this just bounces it. So this card I think is something you're just going to have to be aware of, and of course it does have the when summoned effect, so it is going to be triggering potentially a lot of bursts, but yeah, this is potentially kind of crazy. Then we have got Head Snow Librarian Saga. This is a 2 with 1 reduction Ice Princess. When it attacks or blocks, place a claw from your trash into your reserve. If you placed a Soul Core into your reserve with this effect, this spirit gains 3000 BP. So basically, if you spent your Soul Core previously and then you put it back in, this is going to gain 3k BP, so potentially this could be a very large attacker or a very large blocker. This seems okay. The issue I see with this, again, it's Ice Princess traded, not a super relevant trait in terms of synergies, but this does seem to potentially be quite good. You don't actually need to have your Soul Core in a lot of places, like on spirits. Often you can just spend it for your effects, so I think this is quite decent. Then we've got Ice Headmaid Fuller, Head Ice Maid Fuller, 3 with 2 reductions, Ice Princess. If your opponent's effects cannot remove cores from the spirit or any spirit with a Soul Core on it, this seems pretty niche. Yeah, okay, you can give your protection to one thing, but like, against purple, I doubt that's really going to matter unless your board is exclusively this card and then one really big thing. And even then, that's not a particularly scary board. Bullet Ray is just a vanilla. Decent vanilla though. And then Forest of Steel Leaves. So this is a 4 with 2 reductions. If you have a burst card set, level 1, your white nexuses cannot be destroyed by the effects of your opponent's red spirits or magic. So that's quite interesting. I doubt it's particularly relevant unless we're seeing a huge amount of Nexus destruction running around, and also it is a little bit expensive, right, to gain this protection, and you need to have a burst card set. There's quite a few things that need to go right for this to do what it needs to do, so I'm a little... yeah. But at level 2, when one of your spirits is destroyed by your opponent, select one of their nexuses and return it to their hand. That can be quite annoying. Obviously, you know, just bouncing all their nexuses could their spirits, sorry, their nexuses, yes, could be really, really annoying. However, I don't know that I would really value this card, honestly. Like, fundamentally, I can kind of just, like, okay, so, like, you play this card, and you need to have a burst set for this to be immune, and then you need to make this level 2, so at bare minimum it's costing you 3 cores, and then you get to bounce your opponent's nexus when one of your spirits is destroyed by your opponent. I feel like it's not particularly good. I don't know. Maybe this is kind of cracked, but I don't think it's very good. It just seems like it doesn't really accomplish a great deal, other than being a little bit annoying for the opponent to have to play around. Then we are into yellow, and we have got the good yellow stuff here. Let's talk about it. This is Angel Throne. This is a 5 with 2 reductions. When summoned, select a yellow magic that costs 4 or fewer from your trash and return it to your hand. So this is just excellent value in returning very strong yellow yellow magics back to your hand. This is probably going to see play in that yellow magic-based deck. Outside of that, it seems kind of worth it. Great Bow Angel, 3 with 1 reduction. When summoned, if you spend a Soul Core as part of this card's summoning cost, draw 2. Then return 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order. Yep, this is a 4 of. Spear Angel, 4 with 3 reductions. During either main step, all nexuses lose their level 1 effects and cannot regain them. So I'm not 100% sure on the syntax here, but to me that means, like, this is only during the main step they lose them, and nothing you do can bring them back during the main step. Even if you remove this card, I think they still lose them until the end of the main step, and then they get them back. Now, if you remove this card, potentially that doesn't happen, but basically they're not doing anything during the main step. Could be relevant. I think you're more likely to play this card if you play it just because it's got a lot of reductions and it has an effect, but I don't know, its stats seem kind of poor, and the effect... potentially very, very useful, depending on what the meta shakes out to be, if there are lots of nexuses that are doing annoying things during the main step, though I think most annoying nexuses are not operating in the main step, so I don't think this is particularly good. Angelic Pressure, 3 with 2 reductions. Main flash, select one of your opponent's spirits, reduces BP by 3,000 during this turn. So if you weren't aware, if you reduce spirit's BP to 0, it kills it. So this is a potentially 1-cost spell that kills anything 3,000 or lower, and also can be used in conjunction with one of your units blocking to make this put in significantly more work than that. Yeah, this card's really good. Really, really good. And of course, the key spirit for the yellow deck here, Archangel Michaela. This is Mikafar from Japan, heavily nerfed to mean that she does not need to be banned for 20 years. The 7 with 3 reductions. When summoned at level 1 or level 2, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck for each yellow spirit and yellow nexus you control. Add all magic cards from the reveal cards to your hand, return any remaining cards to one of your deck in any order. So, of course, if you've got a critical mass of yellow magic, or any magics in general, then this is going to be crazy in terms of plussing. And then at level 2, during either attack step, if the spirit has a soul core on it, you may use magic cards in your hand without paying their cost. And that is fundamentally the broken part here. Of course, this is expensive, right? Like, at best, this is an 8-7 for you to be able to get that effect. Though, this is still exceptionally powerful because, okay, yes, it's an 8-7. I've had to invest a lot into it, but fundamentally, during the attack step, I am just using my cards for free. And when you combine this with things like Chain Angel, who you can drop your whole hand of flashes and then you just get them all back, yeah. Very, very exciting potential here. I am absolutely going to be playing this deck. This is the one yellow deck I was interested in if it came over, and it has come over, so I'm really, really excited. This card, very, very, very strong. If that wasn't clear, very strong. War Angel Shin, Mind Eye Celestial. This is Zenon's art artwork. shout outs to all my old Zen and Zard subscribers. You guys got me to 1k. I still appreciate you. 5 with 3 reductions. While the spirit attacks, has luster. So when the battle ends, return all magic cards used during the battle from your trash to your hand. So obviously this is going to go very well with the Mikafar deck. The Michaela deck. That's going to be a bit of a weird thing to get used to. And then while the spirit attacks, once per turn, when you use a magic card, refresh the spirit after that card's effect resolves. So of course there's a crazy combination here, right? Where if you play down Shin as a 5/6, right? If you get the full reductions out, which you probably will, we're assuming, yeah, right? So you play this down, you've got your level 2 Michaela next to it, you swing with this, drop your whole hand, you get it all back with luster, and you refresh the spirit. And you can go again. Potentially kind of nuts. We're going to have to see how that ends up being, but oh, that's good. Twilight Dragon Rider Flavum. This is a 4 with 2 reductions. The guy's going kind of hard in that artwork. At any level, while the spirit attacks, when you use a magic card, select one of your opponent's spirits after that card's effect resolves and exhaust it. This is nuts. While this spirit attacks means as many times as you cast spells. Also, by the way, this has luster. So again, if you've got that Michaela set up, if your opponent does not kill it, if you've got a couple spells in your hand that you're able to use, you can chuck this guy in and just drop your whole hand, rest your opponent's whole board. They're fucked, and you get all the cards back. Oh, the potential combos here are spicy. This is potentially very strong. Again, it's all potential here, right? Because there's a lot of ways your opponent can disrupt it. There's a lot, like, you know, if your opponent just deletes one of these things, thanks to, like, core removal or something that they can do at flash speed, you're fucked. So there's, you know, or hard removal, or things like that. So this is not, like, you know, disgustingly busted, but there's potential for it to be very, very strong, very, very difficult to deal with. And then we've got Lumen Angel Suriel. This is just an angel trait to vanilla. It's fine. Blessed Cathedral, 4 with 1 reduction. During either attack step, place a core from the void into your reserve when one of your yellow spirits is destroyed. So giga ramp. This alone makes this card effect worth playing, I think. And during either attack step, draw a card when one of your yellow spirits is destroyed at 3. Just all kinds of good. I think just everything, everything you would necessarily want. Right, like you're trying to build a board. If you're forced to block early, you're going to be ramping thanks to blocking that early, even though you lose your spirits. And of course, if you just set this up at level 2, you're also going to be drawing. Yeah, just very, 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 very good Nexus. Very good. Then we've got Sage Beast Iberic. This is for the Fabled Beast deck, 7 with 4 reductions, but during either attack step, all your magic cards gain a yellow reduction symbol, which can potentially just make them all free or borderline free. It seems like it's potentially a bit win more, I'm not going to lie to you, but does seem fun. Then we got Flying Turtle, 2 with 1 reduction. When summoned, reveal the top card of your deck. It is a Fabled Beast Spirit card. Add to your hand, if not discard it. Of course, staple in the Fabled Beast deck. Gem Beast Carbolic. This is just, again, a vanilla for the Fabled Beasts. And Exhaust Nexus. Okay. Oh boy. 7 with 5 yellow reductions. Burst. When your opponent resolves the spirits when summoned effect. During this turn, reduce the BP of all your opponent's spirits by 1,000 for each Nexus they control. You may then pay this card's cost to activate its flash effect. If you use that flash, reduce the BP of all your opponent's spirits by 3,000 during this turn. So essentially, if your opponent has like 2 Nexuses up, I think a very reasonable case scenario, they've got 2. And they resolve when summoned. This is just doing a blanket minus 5k to their board. This is killing something. If they've got 3 Nexuses, 6k. Bloody hell. Of course, you know, you are absolutely able to do more shenanigans with BP reduction in the attack step, but frankly, after you resolve one of these, they're probably not going to attack step because they're going to lose anything they swing with. So yeah, this is really powerful. Of course, the downside is another powerful on-summon burst effect is just meaning people are not going to be playing on-summon effects because there are so many ridiculous bursts in this game that do something incredibly powerful when you use a on-summon. So I don't know, like it seems very strong, as a result, I don't know if you're ever going to resolve it. Next up, we have got God Beast Behemoth. This is another X-Rare for yellow. This is an 8 with 6 reductions for Fabled Beasts. When summoning a spirit card from your hand, you may use the symbols of any spirit cards in your trash that cost 2 in addition to the symbols on your field to reduce this cost. So this is kind of crazy. Of course, in that 2-drop rush deck, you're going to be able to meet that restriction quite easily and get this out for very cheap. When the spirit attacks, your spirits that cost 2 cannot be blocked by your opponent's spirits that are level 2 or higher during this turn. Of course, your opponent can counter that by reducing their stuff to level 1, but then, you know, If they're reducing it to level 1, then they're going to be weaker, and they're not going to be necessarily getting their amazing effects. So I think this is a really scary card. It definitely seems like something the 2-drop deck arguably needs to not just get kind of blown out by all the hard counters there are for aggro. But I also really hate aggro, so I'm kind of sad this card exists. But yeah, all right. I think this is very, very powerful. I think the 2-drop, this is going to be a staple in that 2-drop deck. Phantasmal Paradise, 4 with 2 reductions. During your main step, when you summon a Fabled Beast Spirit, you may exhaust the Nexus, draw a card, so instantly staple in Fabled Beasts. And during your tap step, all your Fabled Beasts gain 1000 BP at level 2. Yeah, this card is kind of good. Good card, I like. Then next, we've got Heaven Blade Dragon Ryutei. For some reason, this is one of the cards in all top. Anyway, this is a Fabled Beast, 4 with 2 reductions. During either main step, cores that would be placed into either player's life area, into either player's life, are placed onto this spirit instead. So, you know those really, really powerful cards in white, like Ice Wall. This would just steal that. Yeah, okay, you can still end it, but you're not getting that life back. I'm getting that life. I'm getting that core. Also, against cards like Seaguam Nova, they just don't get to use Seaguam Nova. Like, they're just not going to do anything. I think this is incredibly comical because this is absolutely splashable into everything if you're just going into those matchups. Like, yeah, I'll pay 5 to just not let you Seaguam Nova. Absolutely. And then at level 2 and level 3, during your turn, your spirits cannot be returned to your hand or deck by your opponent's effects. So, I mean, again, just like a nice out to bouncing, or like bot decking and stuff. Just a generally quite a nice card. Really good in Fabled Beasts, but I think just potential generic usefulness there. Nice card. Gale, Yale, yeah, just vanilla. And then Ascension 0, 4 with 4 reductions, so potentially playing this for free. Burst, when your opponent resolves a when summon effect. Another one of these. All your opponent's spirits treat as level 1 during this turn. And then you can use the flash to select one spirit against 2000 BP during this turn. This is potentially a crazy burst, but again, it's a when summon burst, right? So we have this same issue of like, there's so many powerful when summon bursts, your opponent's just going to be highly incentivized, basically never to use a when summon effect unless it's incredibly impactful. So yeah, I don't know. This is a really powerful effect. I just feel like the meta is going to evolve where you're not going to be able to use them. Hippocampo, this is a 3 with 1 reduction Fabled Beast. While the spirit attacks, it has Blessed. Place a core from the void into your life. When the spirit attacks, reduces your opponent's life. So obviously, this is a busted keyword, and your opponent is never, ever, 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 ever letting it hit if they can do anything to stop it. Yeah, basically, incredibly high pressure unit. It's very cheap, and you can just start throwing it in. Though, of course, you know, they can just block you, right? And then you lose this, but yeah, I don't know. This is scary. This is scary. Arcana Knight Hex, 4 with 3 reductions. During your attack step, draw a card when your life increases. So, of course, you know, synergizing here with the blessed units. Obviously, very, very powerful. The fact that, I think mainly the reason this is potentially good is it's like a 2-4. Like, it's very efficient stat-wise. And potentially you're going to be getting the draws. I think more likely it's just you're using it for the stats. And if you happen to land a blessed attack, that's a bonus. Arcana Soldier Sync. This is just a vanilla. And then Greenfield of the Victor. During your attack step at level 0, if you only have yellow spirits on your field, all your spirits gain 1k. That's decent. During your start step at level 2, if all the spirits on your field cost the same amount, select one of your opponent's spirits, reduces BP by 2000 during this turn. So, very interesting. I don't think this is particularly good. If you have lots of them, then yes, potentially you are just nuking things every single turn, just for maintaining like your 2-drop board. But I feel like this condition is so awkward to meet. Like, I feel like you're trying to play things that aren't only 2 costs, like mainly 2 costs, but not only 2 costs. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little iffy on this. Then we've got Divine Flower Queen Marigold. This is a 3 with 1 reductions Fairfolk. When summoned, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 magic from the revealed cards to your hand and return the remaining cards from your deck. If you spend a Soul Core as part of this card, summoning cost for the top 5 cards instead. As you can imagine, this is a staple in that Angel magic deck. And seems pretty decent outside of it. This is Crafter Fairy Lepre. This is a 1 with a reduction, so potentially only a 1-drop here. During your attack step, when one of your spirits with lost is blocked, treat your opponent's blocking spirit as level 1 during the battle. So this is really nice just to get out early, spam the board. and then potentially just very, very annoying for your opponent, like, you know, losing BP, suddenly you're threatening with all your tricky events, potentially you're just going to, you know, nuke their thing, and then they just lose, like, a really high value unit. It seems like it's going to be a bit annoying. I don't know if it's going to be super strong, but this is definitely something you probably want to be playing just for the cost curve alone. Fairy Flautist, this is just a vanilla. And then Fairy Blacksmith, another vanilla here, but the art go kind of hard though. Then Wonderland Alice, 6 with 3 reductions, Otherlander. At level 2 and 3, when this spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's spirits, reduces BP by 1,000 for each spirit you control during this turn. So I think it's only reducing it for the turn. However, it's every spirit you control. So, you know, if you've got a board of 4 or 5, you're killing something more than likely. So this is just very, very nice. And then, during either attack step, if you control 3 or more spirits, when the spirit would be destroyed, you may place a call from the void onto it to keep it on the field exhausted instead. Basically, nah, you can't kill me. Very, very annoying card to deal with. I think this is really strong. I really like this card. I think this is very, very good. Certainly a card I think is very generically useful in yellow. Great card. I like it. Then we've got Royal Potion, main or flash, refresh all your spirits that cost 2. So yes, as you can imagine, you on your last 2-drop attack of the turn, you go, okay, and now I untap the whole board again, and either you have a full defensive board or you just keep going and kill the opponent. More likely, keep going and kill the opponent. Yep, this is just that kind of win-con card that it's nice to have access to. Of course, if your opponent just like rests your whole board or somehow, and then you can just go, okay, cool, refresh them all. Very strong card. Yeah, very strong card. Then we've got Caladrius. This is a 2 Lyric Bird at level 2 with Luster. So again, we know just how powerful Luster is as a keyword. Then they accidentally posted the wrong card. We'll talk about the correct card in a second. Flying Arc. 3 with 2 reductions. During your attack step, all your Luster spirits gain 2,000 BP. 2,000's a lot. 2,000's a lot. So that's pretty good, especially for something you could be playing for 1. And then during the opponent's attack step, when one of your spirits with Luster is destroyed, return it from the trash to your hand. This is real nice, because now you're just getting essentially free blockers, right? Because you've got so much, you've got so much potential for ramp. If you're casting your spells for free, then you don't really need your cores, so you can just kind of spend them to just like play stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is really, really nice. I'm a big fan of this card. And then Gleam of Hope, 3 with 2 reductions, main flash, draw a card, all your spirits with Luster or Blessed gain 1,000 BP during this turn. Yeah, as you can imagine, slapping down 1, 2, or 3 of these as part of your Luster attack, getting them all back, buffing your whole board of Lusters, and then just doing it again is kind of crazy. Yeah, this seems like it's going to be a pretty strong 4 of in like that magic-based deck. It just seems very, very good. And then that last one here, Pentan Chick. This is Lyric Bird and Wanderfey, 2 with 1 reduction. During your turn at level 2, when you use a magic card, count each symbol on your Lyric Bird spirits as 2 symbols when calculating its cost reduction. This seems okay, nothing crazy. There's not a great deal of Lyric Birds, though, of course, they exist. Cute artwork, though. So that is all of the actual cards, but we do have some alt arts. Firstly, Royal Potion. Man, this artwork goes hard. This looks amazing. Then we've got Absolute Ice Shield. This is the money one. This is absolutely the money one. If you get any of these, oh man, this is going to be expensive. Then we've got Deadly Balance. Oh, it looks so good. Looks so good. And then, of course, Star Blessed Draw. Oh, these alt art look absolutely amazing. Oh my god. Then, we're not done yet. Raging Dino Dyrano Rex. This looks sick as well. Infernal King Curse Dragon goes so hard. Look at that artwork. Oh my god. And of course, then we've also got Beldegor of the Dark World 7. Not what I would immediately pegged for getting an alt art, but this is a very, very powerful card. And I think, you know, a phenomenally powerful effect that is almost worth actually triggering those bursts. We're not done yet, though, because then we've got probably the best alt art in the set. Dual Gun Mechlord Derm Diner. Good lord, this card looks good. Then we've also got Archangel Michaela. This is probably the only miss for the alt arts for me. I don't think this looks particularly good. And then Heavenblade Dragon Mute. Obviously, we just saw... I mean, this artwork goes bloody hard. It does. It's very nice. And Mecha Beast Fortress Naumangard. This looks sick. Big Elephant. And of course, the Saga Rare Supernova Dragon Seaworm Nova. Ah, looks beautiful. I'm really excited to see what these actually look like in person. So there we go, that is it. We have all of History of Dawn, we have all of the starter decks, we have everything we need to start testing this game and get good before those big cash prize events. Let me know what you guys think of Yellow, let me know if you guys are excited for those, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Battle Spirits Saga content. I assure you there is plenty more coming. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.